Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Rob again, and today I'm going to be doing some post-commentary for a bunch of the Anor Londo co-op that I did. Now, right away I get summoned into a brawl here involving a red phantom, the host, and another white phantom. So I do the filthy casual thing true to my character's name, and I cast Tranquil Walk of Peace. Then I soon find myself tying up with a Silver Knight instead of actually in the fray with this invader. But it all ends well eventually. Yeah. The invader was probably a pretty skilled player. He almost had him. And I just praised the sun right there as if I actually offered up some genuine help during that moment. So I run ahead with the host towards the boss room in the cathedral. I'm not sure why he wasn't wearing any armor or clothing. I guess he was just doing a naked run or something. Make the game a little bit more challenging for himself. Roll past the sentinel. And we both managed to buff our weapons at the same time here at the boss store, which I thought was pretty cool. Alright, so co-oping with Ornstein and Smo. The main thing I try to do is I always want to get one or the other's attention away from the host, so that the host can fight whichever one he wants to kill. So, since he went after since he went after Smo, I made it a point to just kind of tank hits and stay alive. Pop Ornstein every once in a while to keep his attention on me. The whole time I'm kind of watching the health bar to see how quickly he's killing Smo. And after a point I was kind of like, wait, he's not doing any more damage. And I noticed out of the corner of my eye and on the corner of the screen, it's like, oh, he's, getting whooped by Smo. Let me run in here and try and even up the odds a little bit. Of course, Silver Knight straight sword makes quick work of him. It sounded like he was using a lightning reinforced weapon. So the damage he would end up doing to Ornstein, especially in his super state, wouldn't have been doing much, so try to be as helpful as I can be in this fight. Always gotta watch the butt stomp. Switch over to Quillag's Fury Sword so I can be doing some fire damage to him, which he is much more susceptible to. And it looked like, couldn't really tell. Did he buff his weapon with lightning? No, he's not using a lightning reinforced weapon. I'm wrong, that was a lightning buff he's using. Some gold pine resin. Of course, against Ornstein, you'd be better off using charcoal pine resin for the fire damage, but hey, whatever works. Took that hit. Yeah. Both Super Ornstein and Super Smo both do that butt stomp attack, and it is devastating especially if the stomp itself connects with you in addition to the lightning damage. You end up taking 2 separate hitboxes, and it can kill you. Managed to roll past that first attack, but got hit by the second one, but everything ends well. Take him down, get the Leo ring for that guy. That'll benefit his halberd a lot if he chooses to use it, and net myself some souls and a sunlight medal. Get summoned into this world with another Sunbro and a host that's wearing some Silver Knight equipment. We all wave and greet each other before taking off towards the boss room. Now in this particular fight, the mage is going to do the majority of the work. This particular player has their character optimized to just absolutely obliterate things. And being that they're at a soul level that's compatible with being summoned for this area, he's most likely got all his points in intelligence, and it's kind of a glass cannon, but the cannon part is especially true, as you'll see momentarily. It's using dark magics that you get later in the game, which just absolutely destroy bosses, especially with raised intelligence. And considering all the different items in the game you can equip to raise your magic damage, magic can just get absolutely overpowered. But it's so much fun to use. There's nothing quite like just smashing away at a boss with spells and just watching that health bar basically melt away. And here, surely enough, you know, I'm gonna go after Ornstein with, you know, a straight sword. Sorcery user is gonna end up just liquidating him, basically. Getting the spell Dark Beat and Pursuers. I mean, there goes half his health already. And with another casting of the Pursuers, Ornstein's gone. Oh man, good old dark sorceries. And here I am being summoned down on another brawl with a red phantom. So, being the proper filthy casual that I am, of course I cast Tranquil Walk of Peace and try to rush in towards the phantom to where he can't roll, but they take care of him quickly enough. So they're praising the sun as if I did something once again. Dark Spirit Pikachu was vanquished. Remember that name because he ends up being summoned in a later part of the video, which I thought was kind of funny. I guess he gave up invading and was like, well, if I can't beat all these filthy casual, guess I'll join them. Rushing into this room. If you're co-oping with people, always be prepared to not just run straight for the boss room, but to help them deal with this room and get good at dealing with the enemies here. It's highly advisable, because you don't want to, you know, if they end up wanting to fight the sentinels and, you know, clear out this area, you don't want to use up all your heals before you make it to the boss room, because you definitely want to have some Estus flasks left over. So here we are with the Phantom. I'm just kind of waiting on the host at this point. He went to go open that shortcut, that front door to Anor Londo, or to this cathedral or whatever. Spamming the praise button. Alright, so host enters the boss fog, as well as myself and the other Phantom. Right away I see Ornstein going for the host, so I kind of leave them at it. And I head for Smo to try and keep him occupied. The other Phantom looks like he's trying to also aggro Smo away from the host, but he's probably noticing that the host was getting his butt handed to him by Ornstein or something. I don't know for sure if he was or not, but it definitely didn't take both of us to divide the two up. So I just kind of hit him here and there, just to make sure his attention is on me. They end up killing Ornstein before you know it. So we get to see Super Smo in this clip. Yeah. Smo has no remorse for his fallen comrade. He's definitely not much of a knight. He's just kind of in it for the destruction. So Super Smo basically just, he has lightning damage on his weapon now. And he can do the lightning butt stomp, which is always dreaded. The reason I find him to be a little bit more difficult than Super Ornstein is because a lot of times he has that hammer in front of him and you'll be doing an attack and the hammer kind of serves as a shield. And I'm not sure what happened there. Sometimes this boss fight can be a little glitchy. Maybe I was lagging or something. But Smo just kind of vanished and the fight was over before I knew it. Here I am in another world with the phantom named Pikachu. I'm guessing at this... I mean, I'm pretty certain that that was the same phantom that was invading. It's probably like, well, not having much luck with invasions. Might as well just do some co-op. It's fun too. This particular host wanted to come in and destroy the Titanite demon, which I happily oblige. Just kind of hacking away at him. I don't know if it was a connection issue or what, but I was noticing, you know, a couple of different enemies. You know, it was Smo last time as the Titanite demon. In this clip, he just kind of vanished after killing him instead of having a death animation, so I'm not really sure what was up with that. Alrighty, and upon entering the boss room, I kind of just swung the camera back to assess the situation. Noticed that the other Sunbro Phantom was fighting the one Sentinel, so I was like, well, we'll go ahead and fight this one. Lightning Claymore doing more damage to those guys than I could have hoped for. Come up to that Silver Knight, give him a good backstab while the host is healing. Top off my health there, and onward to the boss fog we go. I cut out the cutscene here to the opening of the boss fight because we've already seen it a few different times, and it just kind of gets redundant after a while. So right away, the host is getting beat up by Smo. So I rush in to try to, you know, get Smo's attention on me and deal some damage. The other summon, of course, he's off keeping Ornstein occupied. Me and the host both using lightning weapons on Smo, taking him out fairly quickly. Here we get to see Super Ornstein one more time. Yeah, instead of just crushing his fallen comrade's body above his weapon, you know, solemnly places a hand on him and absorbs his powers, so much different attitude than an executioner. Just an interesting little touch by the developers, I guess. Using Quillag's Fury Sword, getting that fire damage in on him while the host and the other summoner throwing lightning spears. Which, you know, it damages him and everything, even though he's fairly resistant to lightning. Really, if you want to use ranged spells on Ornstein or Smo, Pyromancies work really good with a upgraded Pyromancy Flame. Or if you have the right sorceries and the right equipment to buff your intelligence and everything, you can do a ton of damage with just the... Not even just the dark sorceries that you get like later in the game. If you're using like soul spears or great soul arrows with, you know, the proper equipment, you can do plenty of damage on them. And just like that, I'll just kind of praise the sun. Happy over another victory and my 10th Sunlight Medal, which I'm going to use to advance myself in the Sunlight Covenant for a particular miracle. Here I'm just kind of mimicking the little slow walk.
Oh, hello there. Forgive me. I was just pondering about my poor fortune. I did not find my own son, not in Anor Londo, nor in Twilight Blighttown. Where else might my son be? Lost Isolith? Or the tomb of the Grave Lord? But I cannot give up. I became undead to pursue this. But when I peer at the sun up above, it occurs to me, what if I am seen as a laughingstock, as a blind fool without reason? Well, I suppose they wouldn't be far off.
Good old Solaire, at least he can laugh at himself. But I was going to say I was mimicking the slow walk I did at the end of my video, the Journey to Gross Incandescence.
I will stay behind to gaze at the sun. The sun is a wondrous body, like a magnificent father. If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
So we kneel at the sunlight altar, offer up the 10 sunlight medals, and voila, an upgrade to our lightning spear miracle, great lightning spear. Gonna bring up the description here. If you want to read that, you can pause the video real quick. I'm not able to read it off before it ends up cutting me off. I've tried. And real quick, I'm gonna attune that miracle and demonstrate how it works. Which, I mean, it works just like a lightning spear. It just does a lot more damage, and it takes 30 faith, so level myself up to 30 faith. Not only to use this miracle, there's a couple of other miracles I'm going to use, which require 30 faith. I'm sure if you've played the game before, you know which miracles I'm talking about. But anybody watching, a Dark Souls playthrough for the first time, I'm going to let it kind of be a surprise, the way some of my other stuff has been. Yeah, actually does pretty decent damage. I was definitely satisfied with it. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you soon with more Dark Souls Remastered. Till then, y'all take care.